everyone. Haven't been out here in a while, so I figured I'd come out on a Sunday night. Nice weather. It's like 80 degrees here in Central Florida, and get at least one of the cars clean since all three of them are dirty. I really don't have an agenda for today's video, so we'll just call this another good old-fashioned wash and chat. Still working with the Sony cameras, getting them dialed in. This will only be the second video I've done out here with these cameras. I guess third. So we'll play with them and continue to tweak them, and so I'll shoot this one in 4K 30 frames and see how it goes. But have to get the GT3 clean. This poor thing has been neglected for quite some time. I brought the gimbal and the other Sony, so we'll see. So let's see how this works. So this has been sitting here for like a month. So this is Adam's wheel cleaner diluted to say 75% water and 25% wheel cleaner. Let's see if it still works, still foams. This is an old, this is like my original foam cannon from a long time ago. Nice. Not bad. You know, I found that, again, if you put soap in a foam cannon and you let it sit, it doesn't work so well like a day later. But wheel cleaner seems to be good, so we're good to go there. So once again, that's Adam's wheel cleaner, which, you know, isn't super necessary here because we've got carbon ceramics on this car. That's funny. When we were washing Adam's car, you know, people were freaking out because I just took this. We were doing a quick wash, and I just took the Easy Detail brush and I just threw it in the darn bucket with with the rest of the soap and water. But that's kind of the point of coating the wheels, especially with carbon ceramics. We coat them, care for them, wash them often. There's no difference between washing the wheels and really this lower part of the car. So that's why it wasn't like I all of a sudden became brain dead and didn't know what I was doing. It just seemed to make sense to me that the wheels are coated, the car wasn't super dirty, we have carbon ceramic brakes, and so why stress about it? Just get them clean while we're cleaning the car. So what I have a tendency to do with these, and you can just use regular old soap and water and be fine with it, but what I have a tendency to do is do a full wheel cleaning like I'm doing right now once in a while, and then do just a quick cleaning, a quick wash, usually every, I don't know, I guess you could say probably every fourth wash is when I'll actually do this full procedure. The bottles will be here any day. They're in customs, so we should have them really soon, shortly. And for those of you who haven't or don't watch the podcast, you probably should. It's really good. At least I think it is. If you haven't heard me ranting about the whole concept here, my concept is that I'm going to be bringing the bottles in, at the risk of people getting really cranky. I'm going to make them non-returnable, non-warranted, none of this bull crap. Just buy it, try it. If you like it, use it. If you really like it, buy more of them. If you don't, then we're gonna somehow create some sort of message board where I can gather the data to then pass on to the manufacturer to hopefully continue to improve them. At least that's the intent. So we're gonna, in essence, crowdfund or crowdsource information to be able to go back to the company that's making them and hopefully use that to get them to improve. At least that's my intent. Somebody brought up an interesting topic. Why wouldn't you just bring them in? Since you're gonna take this hard line with these things, why wouldn't you just sell them at cost? It made me think about it at least. And then, I really thought about how much work, how much effort I had to put in just to get them here. And how unrealistic it would be for me to do that often and do that with products. Oops. Just isn't practical to be able to do that and then make a living and have this thing survive. And me not go get a job. So my my response to him was, well, you know, I get what you're saying. It's not invalid, but and then I'd have to go get a job in order to give people bottles. Why not just ask people to let me make a little bit of a profit and then keep doing this? You know, if you'll notice, you know, I'm able to go to McGuire's and learn stuff about products that we didn't know about, and then share that information to those of us that don't have that access, which is all of us. You know, I never had access to this information. You know, yeah, there's an enriching part, you know, where I get to make money and make a living and do this great stuff, but, you know, in order for it to work, I kind of have to make a little bit of money. Otherwise, I just wouldn't do as much of it. You know, probably wouldn't be able to do half of it. So I'm bringing the bottles in, and I'm going to sell them at a, you know, reasonable 30, 40, 50% margin, whatever makes sense. I have to figure out what the actual import duties are, and then we'll be able to price them accordingly. You know, it's just not reasonable to the amount of, I mean, I can't tell you how many hours just to get them here. And then the risk, you know, I had to put up 20,000 bucks to get them here and hope that they show up. You know, I got to pay people to pack them, and ship them, and all that stuff. Take photos of them, write descriptions, make videos, buy equipment. You know, I know that those of you in business understand how this works, but if you're not, then you wouldn't know. But interesting question. Interesting question to discuss. Let's see, what else do we got going on here? Oh, another good one. I met Michael at the little gathering at McGuire's. You know, like 20 dudes or so showed up. He brought a new power cord. I think this has been on my longer list. But to have an extension cord for polishing that locks. So when you plug the cord in, it snaps in place, and then it doesn't unlock until you pull the spring release. As soon as I saw it, I want that. This is Adam's wheel cleaner. So they're coming fast. Should be shipping in a week or so. Wait till you see these things, you're gonna want one. And they're not crazy. I mean, the 25 footer, which I think is a really cool size, just to have, especially for polishing, especially with how long the new Rupes machine power cords are. But it's gonna be like, I think it's gonna be like 40 bucks. And then the 50 footer is gonna be 50? Yeah, something like that. So not crazy cost. You know, expensive for a power cord, but not insanely expensive, as I was able to buy quite a bit of them. So I think that's gonna be pretty sick. I should have that up soon. Got the Karchers up, so now we can get entry-level pressure washer, you know, to my spec. You know, is it perfect? No, because it's $130 or $140 pressure washer, but it's good. It's good for what it is. Yeah, I'd say this works pretty well, using very little product. So I've got another dilemma. And I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I'm not interested in giving these knockoff companies a platform. So like a Mac Shine or a Matte CC or these, you know, these Chinese companies that are just flat out stealing intellectual property. I'm not giving them a platform. I'm not testing their stuff. I'm not using it. You know, I have no problem with companies that go to China and manufacture stuff and they made it themselves. And again, it's hard to police it and hard to say, you know, exactly, like I don't know all the details, but what I know, I can like with a Max Shine, I know that that's a direct copy, direct intellectual property theft. You know, when they're taking a Rupes and knocking it off almost exactly. And they put the darn RPM scale on it. Like, why would you even put that on there? It's ridiculous. I've been torn on this here because the Sunjos, the 9004, 9007 are just a copy. Right, they're a response to, I'm guessing, the popularity of the Krensla stuff. Like they didn't make their own version, they just kind of copied it. So I've been torn on whether I give them a platform. I mean, I'm going to test them so that I can compile the data. I'm not too excited about making a video and giving them a platform. I know that's going to disappoint some of you. You know, it's a really odd thing that I found that generally the hardest working, you know, blue collar type Americans, you know, I got a lot of detailers, a lot of you detailer guys that are watching this video stuff, because obviously we're detailing a lot on the channel. But I find it really odd that a lot of you guys are so, you know, America first, and obviously want people to and, you know, purchase your services and things like that. To support a company like Max Shine just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, just don't buy that stuff. First of all, it's not any good, but it's just a blatant copy. So I don't know about making a video. So I've been thinking about it. I don't know what I'm gonna do. You know, I don't get the sense that the Sunjo stuff is a direct copy. They at least made it different. Yeah, that's a darn good way to do it. Much simpler than having to get out some goofy foamer. The question will be, I have a bottle of Auto Fanatics wheel cleaner in there, which is pretty good. I like it. You know, right now sourcing it is difficult for Phil to get it and supply it. And what I'll probably do, he asked me not to put it in videos because he can't. He doesn't want to promote it too much because he can't deliver on it. You know, it's a arduous process to get it and bottle it, you know, because it foams so well. When you have a product that foams well, it's hard to bottle. Because I said, well, just send me some 55-gallon drums and I'll put it in a bottle myself. He said, oh, yeah, you're not going to want to do that. You'll make it 3 bottles in and be ready to kill yourself. So that's not happening. But we'll see. You know, I've never really been starved for a great wheel cleaner. I've always had great wheel cleaners. So we have P&S, which is nice. This Adams, which is good. Obviously Auto Fanatic seems pretty good. You know, he's on version 4 already, so I can appreciate the hustle. You know, very few products that are made that are just blended. Maybe we should chat about this while we're at it. Very few products are vetted enough to make it worth your time. To go over and above a Meguiar's or a Adams or a, you know, a company that's been around, a Griot's, a Sonax, Built Hamber, you know, one of these companies that is on version 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of whatever product they're using or whatever product they're making. So, see, this spray pattern still isn't perfect. Not good enough, but we're gonna get there. So I wasn't super enthused about even worrying about trying Phil's wheel cleaner, just because, you know, he doesn't have the resources that a Meguiar's has. But in getting to know him, and this is part of the reason why I don't have any intent to come out with my own private label stuff. The only reason why I came out with my Decon soap was because it already existed. It's already version whatever, 20. It was a Chemical Guys product that was used in tunnel washes, and it just happens to be a magical combination of foams well, doesn't hurt your hands, is a pH of roughly 10, so it's alkaline, and does a reasonable job at stripping. So it's just this magical formula of a bunch of stuff, confluence of products, and the way that it reacts and connects with the air and the car and the paint and all of that just happens to work well. And so the chances of you, even me, who's obsessed with a decent amount of resources, I go to a blender and I say, here's what I want my whatever to do. It's not that simple. And so you have all these guys that come out with their own private label stuff from some local blender. I mean, you take for example, P&S. P&S has been around since the 60s. And, you know, they have 2 or 3 products that are great. You know, and they probably have 5 or 6 products that are good. And they probably have a bunch of products that are just okay, that just get the job done. And so what are the odds? So let's say I went to P&S and they were my blender and I said, I want this, this, and this. What are the chances that I'm gonna have 12 or 18 or however many products we need to wash our car? What are the chances that we're gonna beat the other guys at their own game? And so instead, the way I think it should be done is I'm just going to chase all the guys, all of the companies, and then take the 1 or 2 products that are great, that are made, and do it a little differently. So, and I think I could probably come out with a really successful and do really well and make better margins if I had just my own private label of products. I went to Adams and said, hey, let's just private label an Obsessed Garage line of products that's decent. I don't know, it's just not, I think you guys would think less of me doing that. And then I'd have to play that same game where everybody's so secretive about what everything is, what's in it, what's, you know, they're just all lock and key, no one's allowed to know anything, you know, when we just take Adam's soap and change the colors. And then pretend like I'm a chemist, right? So I'm not really interested in doing that. And so I wasn't, the moral of the story here, I wasn't too keen to go and really care all that much about Phil's wheel cleaner, but it is good. You know, it is, you know, I don't know that I would say it's like greatness off the charts in comparison to like a P&S Brake Buster or an Adams or a NextZ Color Tech. But it's a different type of product. There's no smell, there's no scent, there's no colors. It foams really well in a specific procedure. You know, you still have to agitate the wheels, so you're still going to have to touch the surface and do what I just did there to really get a clean wheel. But it's a good product without a lot of the byproducts of stuff. And again, he's on V4 and he'll probably have V10, whereas most guys, like if I went somewhere and had version 1, I wouldn't want it. I wouldn't want my own version 1, let alone somebody who's not on Phil's level of obsession, you know, and fanatical, if, you know, no pun intended. All right, so let's, I'm gonna grab the other camera and walk around and show you the dirt of the car, so that way hopefully people will not yell at me and say I'm washing a clean car. But let me get this cleaned up, do a walk around, and then we'll do the rest of the procedure here. All right, so let's do a walk around here. Show you the bugs. So notice there is junk on the paint, bugs on the roof. Now there's some bugs sitting on here tonight, sitting out here, but there's some dirt on the car. Yes, there is. So what we're gonna do, foam it, clean it up. So, okay, it's not that dirty, but it's also not clean. You know, so we have some work to do to clean it up. Start doing these walk-arounds like this, just to show people what's going on. So, that's my new gun. Look at how clean that connection point is right there. No bulk. So sweet. And then we got our bucket set up. We got some learning to do with this darn gimbal. So got rinse, we'll fill up the soap, and then this amazing bucket filler. I've got to get Pre-A on the phone to figure out how to sell these things to you. Provide them as a solution. They're pretty sweet. I'm still waiting on my cabinets. I keep giving them up to other people because the black ones have been hard to get out of China. And then we got some bottles testing. So what happens when the force pulls you back, your foot naturally comes off the gas. You have to keep your foot to the floor, to the floor.